It finally happened. Les Snead and the Rams made a deal happen with one of their rookies. We're going to discuss why it's such a huge signing and a big deal. We're also going to talk about Kobe Turner and a particular date this season that he has circled on his calendar, all on today's episode of the Rams Digest. I'm your host, Joshua Giron. Remember, if you guys want to subscribe to the channel, do me a favor. Press the subscribe button now, as roughly 65.7% of you guys are watching the videos, but you're still not subscribed to the channel. If you're already watching a video, all I'm saying is might as well press that subscribe button so you don't miss any daily Rams content here at the Rams Digest. First things first, I do want to say thank you guys all for your support lately. We're getting really close to that 4,000 subscriber mark, so please, again, do us a favor. Subscribe if you're not already so we can push for that 4,000 subscriptions. It sounds weird calling them subscriptions on YouTube, but anyways, I digress. First things first, we are talking about finally. It finally happened. We're discussing why it is such a big deal that the Rams finally signed their rookie second-round pick Terrence Ferguson to a contract. Here is a story here. Rams signed second-round pick Terrence Ferguson. We discussed this the last episode I was on. Shout out to Joshua Feinhersh for being on back-to-back days. But the last episode I was on, we talked about this, right? It was something big that's going to happen soon, hopefully, and why it was going to happen soon. We saw the first domino fall. One of the second-round picks ultimately signed his contract with a little bit less than fully guaranteed money, which ultimately led to other dominoes falling, including the Rams domino, Terrence Ferguson. Their number one pick this year in this year's draft. And he wasn't signed. He was unsigned. The entire, if you missed last episode that I was on, the entire second round, essentially, of draft picks were kind of holding out contracts, trying to get as much fully guaranteed money as they can. Of course, not everyone was going to sign a fully guaranteed contract, but they were really fighting and holding out to get as many other guys as much guaranteed money as possible. So it was kind of cool to see all the second round picks coming together, trying to hold out together as a unit, it seemed. To wait to really negotiate more guaranteed money, which is good for them. I'm always, like I always say, I'm happy for the players. I want the players to get signed. But it was a little scary, right? When your number one draft pick this year's class isn't signed yet, and the Rams need him to be at training camp, need him to be ready to go, because Terrence Ferguson, like I said, is that number one pick for the Rams. So you expect him to be the most NFL ready, if anything, right? The most productive in his early NFL career. And so signing Ferguson's contract, here it is, 4 years, $9.7 million. That was locked into place because of his draft slot. It doesn't matter what the negotiations, what happened with the negotiations. That 9.7 over 4 years was going to be his guaranteed, was going to guarantee be his contract. But in terms of how much guaranteed money he was getting, well, that's what he was holding out for, and he ended up getting over $8 million of it guaranteed. So shout out to his agent, Steve Carrick, for obviously announcing that. And overall, shout out to Terrence Ferguson for, and all these second round picks for doing what they got to do to try to get that guaranteed money. Hey, they're playing a very physical, dangerous sport. The fact that they are fighting for every single, dollar, I think it's fine with me. Do what you have to do. I was just hoping that a guy like Terrence Ferguson, again, can get in the building, get ready to go sooner rather than later, because, hey, if Tyler Higbee's ready to go, great. But if he does deal with some injuries this year, or you just have kind of more of a two-headed monster on offense with this Sean McVay-led offense, 12-man personnel, we heard something from Tyler Higbee himself saying, hey, he thinks that this tight end room is the best it's been, right, in recent memory for him. So overall, if the Rams can get that offense going with two tight ends, not to mention two great receivers, not to mention a couple solid running backs, this team can get in the end zone from all different angles with Matthew Stafford at the helm. So obviously, we're excited to see the rookie get his contract settled and figured out. Congratulations, Terrence Ferguson. Not only for his contract, by the way. I don't know if we shouted out a couple episodes ago. I think I might have cut it out the video, but he also got married recently. So shout out to Terrence Ferguson. A lot of great things happening for him, and hopefully his rookie season can be one of those great things happening moving forward. Moving on from that, the date is circled. It's so funny. As I'm saying this out loud, I'm realizing I don't actually know what the actual date is that this player has circled, but we talked about it in the intro, so I don't need to hide it here. LA Rams star has message for Eagles Saquon Barkley. Ooh, the way they worded this is kind of interesting. This comes to us from, I think it's NFL News Weekly, or what is it called? Let me make sure I get the site right. Newsweek, yeah, at newsweek.com. I think he was talking with the NFL Network, though. Kobe Turner was. He is the Rams star who had a message for Saquon Barkley. Ultimately, if you guys go and watch the NFL Network interview, you can actually watch it. It's probably on X or formerly, Twitter. You guys can go over there and see his full interview. That's where I watched it, and it was cool to see him. Obviously, we love hearing from. I'm not even getting the quote up for you guys. Cool to hear from Kobe Turner in general. He's such a great personality. When he talked about the Eagles specifically, here's what he had to say. He says, "We're always training. I've had that loss in the back of my mind for a while. I definitely have. I believe it is week 3 circled. Even in the individual training right now, we're breaking down, okay, this is how some of the offensive linemen for the Eagles, this is how they block, and this is how we're going to defeat that." Ultimately, the thing that really got us last year is that there are a couple of big runs. Sorry, I'm misreading that all over the place. But ultimately, I do want to emphasize this. First of all, go watch the video if you haven't watched it. And the reason why I say that is because Kobe Turner wasn't really like, oh man, like I have a message for Saquon, I have a message for the Eagles, and I'm really going to go after them. He didn't just bring this up out of his own mind. It was definitely, sorry if I'm lagging a little bit, by the way. It was definitely brought up by the reporters for NFL Network. They were asking him questions about the Philadelphia Eagles in particular, the loss the Rams had, how they are feeling about it. And they were actually excited and joking with him about saying, hey, the first guy to answer honestly saying, you know what, I do have that date circled. I am ready to go back and play that team again. And so ultimately really cool to hear from Kobe Turner to be honest about that. But obviously to hear that he has, that mindset of like, hey, they really got us. We were not happy to the fact that they got us. And we want to make sure we go back and get them the next time we see them. So we're prepping for them. And I like what the NFL Network guys said as they kind of joked saying like, hey, Rocky, he had his opponents right there on the wall right before he went to go fight them. That's kind of an old school mentality that I think maybe can be looked at as a little bit bad, I guess. Eagles fans may read that and be like, haha, whatever, make fun of the Rams or Kobe Turner for saying that. But ultimately, I think the Rams in particular, they should have that attitude because that was an issue last year. Stopping the run, slowing down the run, slowing down Saquon Barkley. 205 yards in a game is not just, it's okay, it's fine, just happens. He kind of killed us twice when you saw him once in the playoff game and also once in the regular season. So ultimately, that's something the Rams need to get a handle on sooner rather than later. And it's good to know that one of these star players on defense is actively thinking about that, as well as the entire team actively thinking about how can they attack this Philadelphia Eagles offensive line to slow down the run. Philadelphia offensive line, one of the biggest, strongest, meanest offensive lines in the NFL right now. Obviously, Super Bowl champs as well, with an incredible, arguably the best running back in the NFL. So all that combination, if the Rams can figure out how to slow them down, they're going to slow most run games down, which is a key for the Rams moving forward this upcoming season. Moving on from that, last but not least, trivia of the day. My favorite part of the episode where I ask a trivia question. You give your trivia guesses down below in the comment section. Whether you're right or whether you're wrong, we give you a shout out on the next episode that I'm on here at the Rams Digest. For those of you who are waiting for a couple episodes, I will give you a shout out in a second. Sorry, I almost shouted you out already. But here was the question for those who missed it that we asked in the last episode that I was on here. We said, who has the most career forced fumbles in NFL history since the stat was tracked? That was Trivia of the Day number 91. A few of you guys played along at home. Again, if you missed it, no worries. In just a couple minutes, we're going to go ahead and give you one today that you can play along with in the comment section. You get a shout out regardless on the next episode. So if you're interested in something like that, then go ahead and comment on today's episode with the trivia of the day for today. But last episode, a few of you guys played along. Here were some guesses. By the way, the multiple choice options, for trivia of the day 91. Who has the most career forced fumbles in NFL history since the stat was tracked? We had A, Ray Lewis, B, Julius Peppers, C, Robert Mathis, or D, Charles Woodson. Here were the guesses from the last episode. Floyd says Ray Lewis. We had Juan saying, what up, Josh? Keep doing the good work. Appreciate you, Juan. My wife got a kick about you shouting out Max. I love that. I love hearing about that, Juan. Appreciate you sharing that. Shout out to your wife. Hey, shout out to your wife now, by the way. If she's become a fan, that's awesome. Appreciate all your work. On the trivia, going Charles Woodson. Keep ballin', player. Go Rams. Appreciate you, Juan. Always appreciate your kindness and your nice comments. Glider saying, I'm going Ray Lewis. The Real J Will saying Ray Lewis because he played forever. Also, I agree with paying the rookies out because this job is violent and short-lived. Thanks for the content as always. Appreciate you, Jay Will. I always appreciate when you guys give a little bit of taste of what else was in the video, because it shows you're not just here for the trivia. You guys are paying attention to the full video. Appreciate all of you guys. And I agree, yeah, pay the players. Pay the players, I don't care. The fans pay a lot of money for jerseys and tickets, obviously, so pay the players all the money in the world, right? Thomas says, I'm going to say Julius Peppers. So we got Julius Peppers, a lot of Ray Lewis out there, a little bit of Charles Woodson. Ultimately, none of you guys got it right. None of you guys got it correct. Sometimes, you know, these trivia questions can be tricky. I don't necessarily come up with the questions or the multiple choice options all the time. Sometimes I'll change them around, but I find these trivia questions with the multiple choice options. And so this one, who has the most career forced fumbles in NFL history since the stat was tracked? It was not Ray Lewis. It was not Charles Woodson. Did anyone guess Julius Peppers? Yes. Thomas guesses Julius Peppers. Not Julius Peppers. The correct answer was C. Robert Mathis. He had 54 forced fumbles in his career. So I know a little bit of a lesser known name compared to some of the more popular names here, but Robert Mathis, still a beast, obviously. Great player back in his time. And so, you know, Robert Mathis, the guy who actually had the record. Appreciate all of you guys for playing along, even though all of you guys got it incorrect. It just means you're not cheating, you're not Googling, so I appreciate all of you guys for playing and playing honestly with the trivia of the day. If you looked at that trivia question, you're like, I knew that answer, then go ahead and show us. Play along with today's trivia of the day, which is this question here, so you can get a shout out, just like those folks did on the next episode that I'm on. What team went 15-1 in the regular season but lost its first playoff game? So what team went 15-1 in the regular season but lost in its first playoff game? We got a couple options for you guys, so stay tuned for this. The multiple choice options are here. Was it A, 2015 Panthers? Was it B, 1998 Vikings? Was it C, the 2011 Packers? Or was it D, the 2004 Steelers? Again, what team went 15-1 in the regular season but lost in its first playoff game? 2015 Panthers, 1998 Vikings, 2011 Packers, or the 2004 Steelers. Give your guesses down below in the comment section. Just guess, even if you don't know. That way, we can go ahead and shout you out in the next episode. Whether you're right or whether you're wrong, we will give you a shout out. Other than that, that's going to do it for me on today's episode of the Rams Digest. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. That's going to do it for me. I'm your host, Joshua Giron, and I am out.